Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode number 12 of The Clutch. We got a lot to talk about today. Wow. Do we have a lot to talk about? The Milwaukee Bucks have won the NBA championship. Here's the thing. I'm upset and I'm happy at the same time. I'm upset because I wanted the Phoenix Suns to win the championship, and, they were the favorite as the underdogs. I know they were both the number 2 seeds, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. But I really think that, the Suns really deserve this. Not the loss, but, to be in the NBA Finals. They beat the LA Lakers. They defeated the Denver Nuggets. They swept the Nuggets. They beat the Clippers in 6. And, just to have their season go down like last night wasn't a good idea. And here's the thing. If you guys watched some of the NBA Finals or all the games, you knew that the Milwaukee Bucks wanted this championship more than the Phoenix Suns. Because here's the thing. By Game 5 and Game 6, definitely the Milwaukee Bucks wanted it more. Giannis wanted it more. Chris Middleton wanted it more. Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they work well together. But, just Game 6 and Game 5's performances just wasn't enough for the Phoenix Suns to win the NBA championship. I mean, for you guys all watching this, you guys know that I was high on the Suns. I really wanted Phoenix to win. I wanted Chris Paul to win one. This is the first time Devin Booker has ever been in an NBA Finals appearance or in the playoffs at all. It was amazing just to see, Devin Booker lose like that. It was just unreal to see it happen. I really couldn't believe that the Phoenix Suns lost in Game 6. I was really Phoenix Suns. I wanted them to win. I wanted the Phoenix Suns to be in a championship form and hopefully be playing Game 7 on Thursday night. Tomorrow night would have been Game 7. It would have been really interesting to see if the Phoenix Suns could pull it off. But no, they didn't want it more. The Milwaukee Bucks showed some mentality out here. They showed, hey, I want this. We're the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to undertake the Phoenix Suns. We're going to rock them by to sleep and basically win the series. And that's what the Milwaukee Bucks did. They basically cradled them in their arms, and basically it was an easy win for the Milwaukee Bucks. The last 2 games were basically easy wins for the Milwaukee Bucks. Devin Booker didn't show that he wanted to win. Yes, in the first 2 games, but after that, the Suns freaking fell asleep on the Milwaukee Bucks. They absolutely devoured that they didn't want to win it. And I really thought that Chris Paul wanted to win it. I said, hey, Chris Paul, it seems like this could be a curse for Chris Paul. He's been, in the playoffs. He's lost, this finals. He's lost in the playoffs every time. And here's the thing. The Milwaukee Bucks wanted it more. They really did. They wanted it more than anyone else. And that's sad to say. As a, Phoenix Suns fan, it really sucked to see that they wanted it more than the Phoenix Suns. And here's the thing. Chris Paul is a great guy. He's an amazing one-on-one person. He'll go in the record book in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the people to do that. I think he can do it. Everyone loves him. He's a beloved guy. Same with Devin Booker. Giannis, he's a great player, but it really showed in last night's game. Devin Booker's missing threes. And here's the thing that stresses me out about the Phoenix Suns. They don't have that much depth. The Milwaukee Bucks said, oh my God, Bobby Portis last night. Wow, would you love to have people on your team just like that? It is amazing that, the Milwaukee Bucks have more depth on their bench than the Phoenix Suns. And here's the thing. I think that the Phoenix Suns will be back next season. The one thing they need to do is they need to re-sign Chris Paul. They'll probably sign him to a 3, possibly 4-year deal, hopefully. Because here's the thing. Chris Paul has been the answer that the Phoenix Suns organization has been looking for. They've had points, Ricky Rubio here and there. They've tried many different scenarios, but it seems like with the trio or maybe quadruple, whatever you want to name it, with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and it seems like a trio to keep, and that's what they need to do in order to win some more NBA Finals. But they need some more depth off the bench. That's what the Phoenix Suns need to do if they want to continue more. Because here's the thing, and this is my motto: I think that the Phoenix Suns, if it wasn't for the injuries of Anthony Davis, if it wasn't for the injuries of LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Murray on the Denver Nuggets, I think the Nuggets would have lost. I mean, yes, they're the number two seed in the Western Conference. They've had a miraculous season, amazing, phenomenal. I think that they can, definitely pull this out and definitely possibly could win, this series. But no, the Phoenix Suns lost 6 games. I was hoping Suns in 7, but just like all my exes, it has to come to an end. But I was really hoping for the Suns to pull it out. But hey, I got a lot of nice things to say about the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton, excellent 3-point shooter. He's got a ring now. Bobby Portis, Pat Covington, Jrue Holiday. He deserves this. And I can't forget about Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek for y'all call him. Because here's the thing. Giannis has been working his butt off for the past couple of years. And he's been trying to get a ring. But it's been hard for him. He can't do it on himself. If it wasn't for Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, Pat Covington, wow, can that man shoot? He can shoot the lights out of the stadium, which is amazing for, a sports fan like me. It's just amazing to see a new team that's in the NBA final that's not named LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant. Speaking of baseball, it would be kind of awesome to see new teams make the World Series that we haven't heard of. Maybe the San Diego Padres make it into the World Series, or maybe the Oakland Athletics, maybe they go far, or maybe the Anaheim Angels of Anaheim, they could go far. It's nice to see new people make it into the finals or into the World Series, Super Bowl, whatnot. Yes, last year it was interesting to see Kansas City play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was very interesting. Don't get me wrong about that. But, it's nice to see new teams in there. Hopefully this season for the NFL, you see maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think of names out of the maybe the Buffalo Bills make it out of the AFC. Maybe they make it to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns. I've been, rooting for the Browns, this whole time. I've been a Patriots fan. Everyone knows I'm a Seahawks, Minnesota Vikings, Patriots, and Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns really have a shot about making the playoffs. I think they will be. I think they'll be a dark horse in the AFC North and making the playoffs. I think they could go far. Call me crazy, which most people do, but I think that the Cleveland Browns can make it in the Super Bowl. I think they got a shot. I think they're a better team than the Baltimore Ravens. They're definitely a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for sure, they are definitely a better team than the Cincinnati Bengals. We all know that. I do feel bad for Bengals fans out there with, Joe Burrow being your quarterback. You just lost your top wide receiver, A.J. Green. But the Cleveland Browns could be the new dark horse of the football, of the NFL. I really think they have a shot. But here's the thing. Going back to the Milwaukee Bucks, the Bucks are a great team. And here's a question. Are they the new team to fear in the East? Definitely. Watch out, everyone that's in the East. I think that they'll be back next season. Giannis will be hungry and he'll be starving for more. I really think that he can go far. Both the Bucks, I think the Nets, that would be a great Eastern Conference final. With the injury-prone Nets, it could happen. I'm really distinctive that, it could possibly be a future thing. Bucks Nets in the Eastern Conference final. I mean, yeah, I'm a really huge Celtics fan, don't get me wrong, but it would be amazing to see new teams make the NBA finals, just like they did this year. No one probably would have expected the Phoenix Suns to come out of the Western Conference and make it into the NBA finals. No one would have called that. No one said, oh, yeah, the Phoenix Suns, they'll be the number 2 seed in the West right now, and they'll be making the NBA finals. It'll be very amazing to see if that can actually happen come next season. Because I think the Suns, don't get me wrong, they will be back. They will. They're a very great team in the West. The Phoenix Suns are the Cleveland Browns of the NFL. The Browns were a joke. No one even thought that they could even make it far. I had a lot of high hopes for the Cleveland Browns. I said this team is a winnable franchise, and everyone was laughing, saying, no, the Cleveland Browns, are a huge joke in the NFL. And I don't think that. I don't think that they were a huge joke. Because here's the thing. They're back, baby. Landry, Odell Beckham, everyone's back. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Hooper. You know, the Browns, they're not a funny team in the NFL. They are real serious, and they're determined to win some games, and I can't wait to see that. But, you know, and here's the funny story. I think it was either after the game when he left the stadium, or it was either this afternoon, Giannis Antetokounmpo, his wife or girlfriend or whatever, I don't know if he's married or not. Sorry, if you're watching this. But he went to McDonald's, and he ordered a 50-piece McNugget, and I found that very funny because he scored 50 points in his last NBA Finals game in his last game of the season, which is amazing. Giannis, I don't have any hate for you. He's a great player, respectable player. You know, I love when people were counting him down with 10, 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's what's great to have NBA fans back in the stadiums. Because last year, no one could do that. No one could count 1, 2, 3. But it is amazing to have fans back. And the Milwaukee Bucks, they could possibly be the next team to fear in the Eastern Conference. I think they could possibly win a couple more. You know, the Milwaukee Bucks, they're fine. They don't need to add anyone. Keep the team as they are right now. Giannis is an unbelievable player. Brook Lopez got his first championship. He's been fighting for one for years, and now he can put one over his brother, I think, because his brother Robin Lopez doesn't have one, which is great, amazing. And, you know, they're the new teams to fear. I mean, as much as I want to say the Boston Celtics could be a fierce team in the NBA, I don't see it. We got the acquisition of most round. That's a start to be scary. If we trade for Bradley Beal, then I could say, yo, watch out for the Boston Celtics. But right now, I'm saying the Celtics aren't a scary team yet. I know the offseason just started last night, with the NBA Finals being clear and done. But I think that, you know, the Milwaukee Bucks are fear to deer. You know, their motto and their saying, fear to deer. Watch out. Milwaukee Bucks, they will be back in the playoffs, and they will be probably back in the NBA Finals. You know, I could see them defeating the Brooklyn Nets again, because, God, do I hate New York teams. I mean, no love for the Nets, you know, with Kyrie Irving. But I think the Milwaukee Bucks, watch out, because they are hungry and they're ready for more championships. I think they could possibly repeat back-to-back if no one else acquires anyone else in the offseason. But I know in this NBA it'll be a very interesting offseason with, you know, Al Horford being traded to the Boston Celtics. We all probably saw that one coming. You know, Damian Lillard, could he possibly be on the trade mark? Could he be traded to the 76ers, possibly Celtics, or another contender of a team? I mean, who really knows? I mean, we shall answer that question next. But we are going to hit the break right now. When we come back, Chris Paul's playoff, is it a curse or is it not? I will answer that question back.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
Hello and welcome back to The Clutch. As we talked about in the first segment about, Milwaukee Bucks finally winning an NBA. Congratulations on finally. But here's the thing. Is Chris Paul, going into the playoffs, could this be a curse? Here's the thing. I think yes and no. I think it's a yes because, Chris Paul, every time he's on a team and he makes the playoffs, the team loses and doesn't practically do well. But I really thought the Phoenix Suns, this season were the team that could possibly go far in the playoffs. And they did. They made it into the NBA Finals. They came very close, 2 games away from possibly winning an NBA championship. But you asked me this, will the Phoenix Suns be back in the playoffs and possibly the NBA Finals? You bet your bottoms they will be. Definitely it will happen. The Phoenix Suns are a very scary team in the Western Conference. With the acquisition of Jay Crowder, the trading of Chris Paul. I've ever seen NBA for the Phoenix Suns because they were a huge joke. Don't get me wrong, they were a huge joke in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns. No one even thought, like I said in the first segment, they would be. But man, I think that Chris Paul possibly has a curse because every time he makes it into the playoffs, something bad always happens. So, I really hope that Chris Paul does win a championship before he retires. I think he will re-sign back with the Phoenix Suns if the Phoenix Suns offer him a contract. If he doesn't, I could possibly see him going elsewhere or maybe being traded. Maybe Ben Simmons gets traded to the 76ers or maybe the Celtics possibly sign him. But, it could be a huge possibility here and there. But I really don't know what will go down. It's going to be really interesting. I can't wait for this offseason. But here's the thing I want to stress about the Chris Paul curse. The Suns need a lot to improve in the offseason. Excuse me, they really do. The Phoenix Suns need a whole lot of improvement. Because if you think that the Phoenix Suns will stay the same as they did in the NBA Finals, you would be joking yourselves right now. Because here's the thing. Their bench is not as talented as the Milwaukee Bucks. Bobby Portis, Pat Covington, Brook Lopez coming off the bench here and there. All the Phoenix Suns had was, what's his name? Johnson, he's an okay player. Then the guy that they got from the Milwaukee Bucks who was injured and he was out for the NBA Finals. Decent kind of player, but he's not, oh, wow, he can play like that? No, he is definitely not that type of player. Because here's the thing. The Phoenix Suns, they need shooting guards. They need a lot of power right there. And, I don't know what else to say. It's really sad for the Phoenix Suns. It really is. They need veteran help. They just don't just need Chris Paul. They need some shooters. Maybe something like Andy Green, Al Horford, getting some bench. DeMar DeRozan, I think he was a free agent this year. Maybe signing someone. Well, they already have a point guard, but get more bench player depth help. Because if you want to be back in the NBA Finals and you want to play teams with LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, you ain't just winning it with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges. You need a lot of damn help right now if you're the Phoenix Suns. You need some more this year. You need to look at the, power forwards and centers in the free agency and say, maybe if I acquire this, I could get to the NBA championships. And I got to give credit, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, they worked their butts off this year more than ever to try to win themselves in NBA Finals. And here's the Milwaukee Bucks. They're not an easy team to beat. They have a lot of hype. Brook Lopez is tall, Giannis, Chris, even Pat Covington put them up there, and also Bobby Portis. Congratulations for his NBA championship. He's been on so many teams, Washington Wizards, he's been on the Chicago Bulls. He's punched his teammate in the Chicago Bulls. That's why, he left Chicago. But I'm very proud that, Bucks have won the championship. But in order for the Phoenix Suns to be back to finals come next season, I think that they need a lot of leadership. Chris Paul is the guy to do it. And I think that they can just have a lot of survivors out there. They need a lot of leadership. Maybe signing sign back Evan Fournier. Having someone like him come off the bench wouldn't be such a bad idea. Suns, Devin Booker's a great three-point shooter. Chris Paul, he can handle the ball well. He's a great leadership. I really felt bad for him. It's got to be really tough for a player like him to play for a first team in the Phoenix Suns, make the NBA Finals, and then lose by 7 points in Game 6 of last night's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Because here's the thing, the Milwaukee Bucks, they really are. It's amazing, for them to have a championship. Giannis deserves it. Chris Middleton, all the players on the Milwaukee Bucks, they're strapping high, having their head held high, after the post-game interviews. Everyone was happy. It was great to see a new team not win the finals that's not named the Lakers, the Cavaliers, Thunder, and whatnot. It was great to not see that. The Warriors, Raptors, not the Thunder. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, I guess we can throw in the Celtics, but they haven't made the finals in the past decade or so. But, it was great to see a new team win it. And I really hope that that's the scenario come next season. Maybe the Hornets make it. Maybe a new team out in the West like the Timberwolves could also make it. I mean, I'd be really excited to see new teams that haven't made the playoffs or the NBA Finals make it into the finals, because it makes the game a little bit more interesting. Because the Phoenix Suns, they haven't won it or been in a finals ever since Charles Barkley played on the team, which was 1996 or 86 or whatnot. And it was just amazing to see that, new teams were making it. No one would have said, definitely it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Phoenix Suns. Maybe diehard Phoenix Suns fans said, it's the Suns will definitely make it. They have Chris Paul, Devin Booker. There's no way that no one can beat them. And they proved everyone wrong this year. They beat the Lakers in 6. They swept the Nuggets if they didn't have Murray. They beat the other LA team, the Clippers, in 6. I was expecting the Clippers to win that one, but if they had a healthy Kawhi Leonard, Suns, I'm sorry, fans, if you guys are listening, it would have been a whole different story for the Phoenix Suns. It really would have been. It would have been more interesting, but I'm glad the Suns made it. I'm glad it was the freaking Bucks versus the Suns to be in the NBA Finals. But, there's a lot of improvement teams. Even Milwaukee, you can talk about, getting more shooters, maybe getting more centers, but the definitely more help is the losing team in the Phoenix Suns, because they need a lot of help out there at the depth. Starting lineup's fine. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder. Perfect. Great starting 5. But if they want to ump it a little bit more, I think they need to get a lot of shooters. They need some more, Payne was great coming off the bench, here and there taking over for Chris Paul, but you need some shocker guys coming off the bench. You need some, oh my God, they got him in free agency. This is going to be a really interesting free agency and in off season for the NBA, because you have a lot of questions heading into the NBA. Will Bradley Beal get traded from the Washington Wizards? Russell Westbrook, could he possibly be traded to the Lakers? Ben Simmons, where could he possibly go? I think he goes to another team. The 76ers are basically done with him. Because here's the thing. The Philadelphia 76ers were the worst number 1 seed I've ever seen play in the NBA playoffs. They really were. When you bench your starting point guard for the last 10, not even 20 seconds during a playoff game, that tells you something. That tells you that, A, the Sixers never cared about Ben Simmons during, the last closing minutes of closing time during the fourth quarter. And it said, B, work on your free throws, man. And maybe you can be on a better team that actually wants to, I don't know, win you some games. Maybe he gets traded to, I don't know, let's see, what team really needs a guy like Ben Simmons that A, is a good point guard. He can dunk, layup, okay rebounder, but needs to work on his free throws. Like, here's the thing. If you ask me, would you like to see Ben Simmons in a Celtics uniform? It's a yes and no for me. It's a yes because, we need a point guard and we need someone to really score out there. And the only person to really score out there is, I guess you could say, Ben Simmons. But he needs to work on his jump shot, his threes, his free throws. He needs to work on a lot of things before I could say yes, that, he would look great in a Celtics uniform. Here's the reason I say no. Ben Simmons would not work out well for the Boston Celtics. One, the 76ers are looking for an all-star in return for Ben Simmons. So if you do the process of elimination, who would you rather give up, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? Jaylen Brown is your obvious answer for the Boston Celtics. And do I want to give the Philadelphia 76ers a really great shooting forward or a shooting guard in Jaylen Brown? No. I want us to keep Jaylen Brown, but I know he may be on the move come, a couple of weeks, months from now, that he could be acquired in a trade. Now, the only person that I would want to ship him out to is to get Bradley Beal, because Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum are really close. They've been college buddies. They've, known each other ever since day of birth, since high school years. And I think that Bradley Beal could be a great, position player for the Boston Celtics. He would help us out. He scores at least 30, 35 points per game, which is way better than Jaylen Brown. I think he can contribute well for the Boston Celtics. I think if we acquire a, talented shooting guard like Bradley Beal, yeah, we'll definitely be back in the playoffs. Yes, we will win more playoff games, and we'll be a better team. The point guard issue is a big factor. I can see us getting Lonzo Ball, possibly maybe signing Kyle Lowry or getting a low average point guard, but we need a starting point. There's no. Peyton Pritchard is not looking like our starting point guard right now. Yes, he can shoot the heck out of the ball, but no. If you ask me this, I don't think that he could possibly make it for the Celtics. But, we'll see what dealer Brad has in for us. He's been very risky right now in making deals for us, and it's amazing for, the Celtics to be in this situation, what point guard could we go after next? Who's going to be leading the team? Could it be Lonzo Ball, Kyle Lowry, maybe Damian Lillard? Maybe we acquire C.J. McCollum too in a trade for Damian Lillard? I mean, there's a lot of questions to ask in the NBA season. That's why I love the NFL offseason and the NBA and MLB offseason. It's very risk-taking to see what teams do and what they can't do, from here on out. It'll be very interesting to see what moves go where and what team goes elsewhere. Because for the Boston Celtics, we only have one key free agent that I think that we should sign back. I have a good feeling Evan Fournier will be back for the Boston Celtics. He's been a great contributor, great three-point shooter, amazing talent on and off the bench. He started for the Boston Celtics, and I've loved him ever since watching him on the Magic. I think he played for the Phoenix Suns here and there, but he's a great player for the Boston Celtics to have. Standing up to Kevin Durant, now talking him back. That's what the Boston Celtics really need. If you want a player like that, heck yeah. Go out and sign him and re-sign Evan Fournier. You need a leadership like that, like Evan Fournier. And I have a good feeling that he could possibly be back in a Celtics uniform. and I'll love it, and I can't wait. We're going to hit the break right now. When we get back, what's wrong with Yankee fans? And let's talk about the MLB trade deadline. Who will be buyers or who will be sellers? My name is Devin Telgani, and this is The Clutch.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
Hello and welcome back to The Clutch. I'm your main man, Devin Telgani. So I have a real thing to pick right now. I'm really pissed off at this one Yankee fan. So I don't know if you guys watched the rivalry series between the Red Sox and the Yankees. I did, because I'm a diehard Red Sox fan. So here's the thing, what went wrong. So if you guys didn't hear that, this one Yankee fan threw a baseball in the back of Alex Verdugo's head, I think that is very disrespectful as a Yankee fan or as a prospector at a game. So here's the story that went down. Alex Verdugo was playing catch with, I think, Kike Hernandez during the bottom of the sixth, and this is when it was raining really down hard. So Alex Verdugo, when he was done playing catch with Kike Hernandez, he saw a young Boston, Red Sox fan, and he threw the ball to the young fan. And the young fan took it. So I think, what I know happened is that, this other Yankee fan that wanted the ball, snatched the ball from the young kid's hand, and, he got it himself. And so I think what happened was, a couple of pitches went by. And so what this really smart man did was the Yankee fan threw his arm back, threw the ball onto the field of play, and it hit Alex Verdugo. Now, here's the thing. Alex Verdugo was really upset and pissed off, and I'm by far, I would be upset if, a young prospect, young fan, threw a freaking baseball at my head and was a Yankee or, not a non-Red Sox fan. I'd be upset. Alex Verdugo has all the rights to be upset at that one fan that threw the ball. And, end of story, moral of the story, the guy was kicked out of Yankee Stadium, and he is not allowed in any major league ballpark. So you dumb butthead, great job for, jokingly great job, but, I can't believe that he actually did this to Alex Verdugo. And here's the thing. If you guys saw the last Red Sox versus Yankee rivalry series, Alex Verdugo was talking to Yankee fans, and, he was interacting. This is his, second year on the Red Sox from the Mookie Betts trade. And he was, enjoying himself. He was talking to Yankee fans. He actually gave a ball to a Yankees fan. He gave him, a fist pound and whatnot. And that's what you got to love about, MLB players. Sometimes they can be a-holes, sometimes they can be nice. And Alex Verdugo is, one of the nicest MLB players that you could possibly ever meet. I've never had a sit-down conversation, but he just looks like that dude that you can just sit there and be like, yeah, what's going on, player? But here's the thing. Alex Verdugo was screaming and yelling, yes, do that. Scream, yell, kick, do whatever. Talk backsass to that Yankees fan. Because I'd be doing the same thing if I was in his position, pointing fingers, yelling. That's what you have to do. That's called standing up for your team. I don't know, and just, doing it for the Red Sox, for the Red Sox sake. And, Alex Cora pulled all of his players off the field, and that's what a smart and great manager does. If you're Alex Cora and you're like that, you pull your team off the field, you say, hey, let's digress, let's sit down, let's relax, and, let's just have, a resting period, and which is great. This is why I love Alex Cora as the manager of the Boston Red Sox. He's a great aspect to the team, and he's a great leadership. He knows what he's talking about, and he's been there before. He's been a great bench coach, and he's a way better manager than we've all seen from Bobby Valentine, Ron Renicky, or whatnot. It's just the audacity to see that Yankees fans and players are doing this right now. And it's just amazing to see what goes wrong and what people are doing in order to have this stuff go down. Because here's the thing, if this was a Red Sox fan doing this to a Yankee player, like say throwing a ball at Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner, it would have been all over ESPN or whatnot. But no, of course, it's like a Yankee fan throwing a ball at the Red Sox. No one, surprisingly says, this is interesting. No one even talks about it on ESPN or whatnot, Nesson. But here's the thing. If you're a Yankees fan, boo you for doing that. Like, what were you thinking? Oh, great. You got all the fans' attention. You're the biggest a-hole right now for the New York Yankees. If I'm the New York Yankees fan committee, I would be really upset at this guy for doing what he did. Yes, it's a rivalry game, but is it smart to, interfere with, baseball players like that? No, you don't do that. It's like, what are you thinking, man? You're not thinking in the right way if you're asking me. You are not thinking correctly. You must be messed up in the head. And I've met a lot of messed up people here and there or anywhere. It's really sad to see as a Boston Red Sox fan that this is happening. I mean, yeah, we've seen, pizza being thrown, someone whacking at Gary Sheffield, balls being thrown at Giancarlo Stanton. But, this is different. Like, the Red Sox fan wasn't aiming for Giancarlo. He was just trying to throw it back to the stadium and not try to hit Giancarlo. But I'm glad Giancarlo, took it in. He, started laughing, and whatnot. But here's the thing. You have to understand that in a ballpark, you are there respecting and basically representing your family out there. If I'm that guy's mom and dad right there, or husband or girlfriend or whatnot, I'm very embarrassed to, speak with him or to have any words with him. Because here's the thing. Say if the wife really loved going to baseball games. Your chances are very down the hill right now. It's not looking pretty good. It is looking downhill right now. Because here's the thing. If he has a son or daughter, can't take him to any major league ballparks. Nope. Because of your stupid butt, you did a very assholey thing for your community and for your faithful. So how are you looking now? Are you looking great? You're not. He is not looking exactly the way he is right now. And here's the thing. I've seen videos on Twitter about, stuff like that going down. And, no one's, he wasn't, throwing a fight when, he got escorted out by, the security there. He, took it like a man and said, hey, okay, I threw the ball. I got to be thrown out of the game. He wasn't put in jail, but he was banned for life for the rest of the year. Well, the rest of his life, basically. And that's great for him. And that's my one spiel that I have to say about Yankees fans. Boo you. I mean, here's the thing. I love and respect Yankee fans. But if you do something like this, that is not faithful, and you are looking really stupid. And you're not looking grateful right now to the Yankee faithful. You are being booed on. You're being dressed upon right now. And you're not looking great for your team right now. So great for you for throwing the baseball. And I'm glad I'm never going to see or hear from that Yankee fan ever again. Good riddance. You did a very stupid and crappy thing in a major league ballpark. You weren't respecting the other team, and you got what you deserved. And that's my one spiel I have on Yankee fans right now. I'll talk about a little bit more about this when we get to it, to the end of the season. But let's talk about one of my favorite things coming up. The MLB trade deadline. I'm excited about this. It's coming up in about 2 weeks or so. Man, the Red Sox, they could be acquiring maybe Craig Kimbrell. The Cubs could be big sellers. And the Yankees, man, oh man, do the Yankees need some help because they're looking third place, fourth place right now. And here's the thing with the Cubs. They lost Jock Peterson. They traded him away to the Atlanta Braves, which I'm going to see Friday night in Philadelphia, which I'm excited about. And, rest in peace for Ronald Acuna. He, tore his ACL on a play in Miami, Florida. And, he's out for the season. I love and respect Ronald Acuna. He's a great player, great star player. And he is amazing. And he does what he wants to do. And he enjoys it. Now, I have nothing better to say for the Atlanta Braves. But the Atlanta Braves acquired Jock Peterson from the Chicago Cubs. And it seems like the Cubs will be sellers by the trade deadline. And here's the thing. The one player that I see the Cubs keeping during the MLB trade deadline, Javi Baez. The rest of the team, see you later. Craig Kimbrell, bye-bye. He could possibly be signing a deal with maybe the Red Sox or possibly the New York Yankees. But if he goes to New York, that lovely beard will be going bye-bye because of the atmosphere, and they don't allow people with beards in New York. Well, except you can have a mustache or whatnot. But I see Craig Kimbrell possibly going to a contender, maybe the Red Sox, maybe the A's, or possibly New York Mets, because the New York Mets need a lot of help in pitching, but they basically need a lot of help on offense. Well, I'll get to the Mets later on. But I think that Chris Bryant will be on the move. And where will he get traded to? The New York Mets. The New York Mets need a well-defined third baseman, and who else to acquire except for Chris Bryant? I really think that they could, especially go after him. He's a big bat that the Mets need. The Mets are in first place right now as we speak in the NL East, which is amazing. And I really think that they can basically win it all if they acquire Chris Bryant. Maybe getting Trevor Story, but that's another story that the Yankees will probably get. But shortstop, they're fine. Lindor's hurt, which I do feel bad for. He signed a 10-year deal with the New York Mets. But I think if they, acquire Chris Bryant and get a little bit of pitching help, maybe starting and maybe relief pitcher, because Jacob deGrom, he's been hurt. Noah Syndergaard has been nowhere to be found. I think the Mets need some help, outfield-wise, even though they have Pilar, they have Michael Conforto here and there. But I think the New York Mets will do fine if they acquire Chris Bryant, which will be a huge aspect to the team. But Chris Bryant's going to go. The Cubs will be sellers. Anthony Rizzo, I see him getting traded to one team, and that is my Boston Red Sox. I see the Red Sox acquiring him for maybe they send over Michael Chavis, and maybe they can send Bobby Dolbeck. But would it be acceptable to send Bobby Dolbeck in a trade for Anthony Rizzo? I think so. Anthony Rizzo is a better player than Bobby Dolbeck is. I mean, I know he's young in the making. Bobby, he hits home runs. He makes great plays at defense. But if you ask me statistically wise, wow, that was a hard word to say. I think that Anthony Rizzo by far is better than Bobby Dolbeck, and I would love to see Anthony Rizzo in a Red Sox uniform come the end of August or the start of August. I would really love to see the Red Sox go deep and try to acquire a first baseman like him. Because the two players I can see the Red Sox signing during this trade deadline, or trading, I can see him trading for Anthony Rizzo and getting, Craig Kimbrell. Yeah, people will be like, oh, but we've already had Craig Kimbrell, he's had his woes. But guys, he's at a .75 ERA. That's amazing for a relief pitcher, closer, whatever you want to call him. He is an amazing pitcher right now for the Chicago Cubs, and it's really sad to see him be on a very sad team as the Chicago Cubs. That's why they're going to be sellers. Chris Bryant's not going to be on a team. He could be on the Mets. Anthony Rizzo will be on the Boston Red Sox. And possibly Craig Kimbrell could be on the move to either Red Sox, maybe the A's, maybe Yankees, or any other new team right here in the MLB, and that's why I'm really excited to see, who goes where and what goes tonight. And guys, I'd really like to thank you guys for watching episode number 12 of The Clutch. If you guys have any questions, want to hit me up, let me know. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. I'm your lovely host, Devin Telgani, and this is The Clutch.